This is a tutorial for the CubeTwist 3x3x3 bandaged fuse cube. As you can see, this one has 4 pieces, including these center pieces, and it's fused all of them. So, although some people may think that's a bit easier because it can't be mixed as much, it's actually a little harder because there's restrictions to the algorithms and moves you can do. Okay, so now it's mixed, and the first thing you want to do is to solve it as much as you can like a normal 3x3x3, and pretty much the whole puzzle is going to be solved like that, just slightly differently. So the first thing you want to do is to create the cross on either the red, white, or blue side, the one that already has the bandaged parts. So I'll start with red, and first I'm going to take this red and green and match it up here. First thing I have to do is to match up the greens, and then I can put it up here, the red's there. Same with the yellow, find the yellow one. Right now it doesn't match, so I'm going to take it out here, match it up to the yellow right there, and then put it up. Next I'm going to put in the corners, which should be pretty straightforward, especially this one. There. This one just has to be rotated, take it out, and put it back in. This one over here. Now, some people like to do it in the 3-step method, where if the piece that I'm putting is right here, same color, like this, you would usually just do 1, 2, 3. But in this case you can't because it doesn't turn in that way. So instead of doing it that way, you should take it out of the way first, and knowing that the red shows up over here, I'm going to bring this one down here. When I put it back, the reds are going to match up, and then I can put it back up. So now I've completed my first layer. Next I want to do the second layer, these 3 pieces. And the first thing I want to do is to pick either yellow or green to finish both pieces like that. In this case, the yellow and blue looks like it's not solved, but from here I can easily put it back using a different algorithm. So before I do that, I'm going to try to put in the yellow and green into here if possible too. So first thing I want to do is to take this one out. So take it out normally, and then I want to put this one back in. But since I can't do it that way, I'm going to first move this over here without disrupting this piece. So I'm going to put it out over here, move it out of the way, turn this orange side over, and put it back. Now, if I put it back in normally, the green and yellow will not fall into there. Okay, and now what I want to do with this piece is I want to make sure that the color of the non-bandaged side is facing down like this. The yellows match. And from there, I'm going to have this as the right and this as the left. I'm going to put this over to the directly opposite side. From there, I'm going to take this one out. That way. And what I want to do is I want to have this piece ending up over here relative to this green and yellow, and I also want the red to be on this side. So using just this in this direction and this one this side, I'm going to try to do that. So first I'm going to rotate it like that, and before I can rotate it further I have to first move it back here without disrupting this piece. So take it out of the way, put it over here, and then I'm going to now put it next to here where I want it, and also the red piece is on the same side I want it to be facing. Now from here I can match it up. Okay, so now these 2 pieces are the only things that have to be flipped, and this one is actually pretty simple. I'm going to start with the yellow as the front, and I'm going to do 2F, 2U, 2F, 2U, now they match, and 2F. Now the remaining piece is this one, this green and white. And again, I want it to match here. In this case it does, but in the case that it didn't, I'll show you one quickly. So, in this case, these two are still like solved, and this one is flipped around. So now the green piece is no longer facing this unbandaged side. So what I want to do is, I want to first rotate these two around using the same algorithm I used to flip the yellow and blue and yellow and green. And I'm going to flip these two over like this. And then I'm going to put this one into here, which should be this yellow and orange piece by that time. I'm going to put this green and white to the yellow and orange, and I'm going to take it out the opposite direction. Or instead of doing that, I can just put it in directly, making sure that the green side matches. So from here, I'm going to take it out, F2, 2U, 2F, 2U, 2F. So now I'm going to put this one in here. And since it goes down this way, I have to keep it on this side. I'm going to do U, R, U inverted, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted, U, and F. Now, these two pieces are exactly like the ones that were over here. I can do F2, 2U, 2F, 2U, and 2F. And that solves the second layer. Now for this top layer, the algorithm I used to get the upper cross uses only the front, right, and upper sides, which should work fine in here because those are the only three that actually move. So from here, I want to, if in this case where it's an L and these two pieces have to be flipped, I'm going to have one in the front, one on the right. And the algorithm is F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted. And from this position, which is a nice position where it has two directly across and two that be flipped directly across, I just have to do it one more time and it should work. So F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted. So now I've got my cross, and usually what people do is they want to worry about these pieces and put them in the correct order. In this case it already is, but you really don't want to worry about that for this specific puzzle. The first thing you want to do is to put all oranges onto the top. In this case you cannot simply rotate the corners like you would on the last step of solving a 3x3x3. So instead, I'm going to use the same method I used to swap these pieces to change their order, and that's also going to rotate these corners at the same time. So for that algorithm, I'm going to start with R, U, R inverted, U, R, 2U, and R inverted. So I'm going to do that several times until I have all of them on the orange, all the oranges on the orange side. And if you play around with that move a couple times, you can usually figure out pretty quickly like exactly which places to start from in which situations. So in this situation where there's two solved up here and two not solved over here, I'm going to have those two on the left and do the same algorithm once. And now, this is where I really want to be, where there's three corner pieces that have to be swapped. And as you can notice, they will always be facing in the same direction. Clockwise, clockwise, and clockwise. Or they could be counterclockwise, counter, and counter. So right now, it looks like this. So what I'm going to do is first figure out which way, if I turn, will have the orange on top. If I turn it this way, it will not have the orange on top, but if I turn it this way, the orange will come out on top. So first, keeping the piece that is correct onto the right, because this has to turn counterclockwise, I'm going to do L inverted, U inverted, L, U inverted, L inverted, 2U, and L. And if they had to turn clockwise, then I would have started with the right. So now, next thing I want to do is to match up these corners in their correct order. First, check to see if there's any two that are solved relative to each other. In this case, there isn't, so I can start anywhere. But in the case that there were two that were correct, I want to put them both onto the left side, and the two unsolved ones over here. Now the algorithm for this, it's going to be 2R, U, 2R, U inverted, 2R, 2F, U inverted, 2F, U, and 2F. Now it looks like it messes up these, and it kind of does, but these are really simple to solve without messing up anything else. And this algorithm is actually derived from an algorithm you use for the 3x3x2 or 3x3x4, just modified a bit differently. So now I have two pieces that are correct relative to each other. These two, I'm going to have them on the left. Do the same algorithm one more time. These two are incorrect. 2R, U, 2R, U inverted, 2R, 2F, U inverted, 2F, U, and 2F. So now they're all solved relative to each other. And the first thing I have to do now is to fix up these. And now, first you have to see in which order will they solve. So if I turn yellow first twice, and then green twice, will they be solved? In this case, not. So I'm going to have to start with the green side, and then the yellow side, and all of these pieces are solved. So that's the order I want to swap them in. And again, I'm going to start with the green side. So I'm going to do 2F, 2U, 2F, 2U, 2F. Now turn over to the yellow side and the same exact thing. 2F, 2U, 2F, 2U, and 2F. Now that solves these again very quickly, and all these corners are correct. Now the last algorithm I use is to swap this piece, and this piece in the clockwise rotation. So I'm going to use only R and U for this algorithm, and I'm going to have one of the ones I have to solve in front, the other one on the right, the other one on the left. Now in this case, I'm going to have to do the algorithm 2 times because it moves clockwise. So the green will come here, and then I'm going to have to move it again to move over here. Same for all the other ones. Or I could try to invert the algorithm to do the L, starting with L and just U. But that would be a bit complicated to try to memorize 2 different ones that are just inverses of each other. So I'm just going to do the same algorithm twice. So keeping this on top and another one on the right, I'm going to do R, U inverted, R, U, R, U, R, U inverted, R inverted, U inverted, 2R. As you can see, that swapped them once clockwise. And I'm going to do the same algorithm one more time. R, U inverted, R, U, R, U, R, U inverted, R inverted, U inverted, and 2R. Now swap this around, and that's how you solve the CubeTwist 3x3x3 bandaged fuse cube. Thank you for watching.